Today we are going to start our social studies class with chapter 4 major landforms. Dear students, we already know that on our 71% part is covered with water and 29% part is covered with land. And on the land, many types of parts are here. That's not equal on every side. Many sides there are grasslands, many sides is plain, and many sides we watch mountains and plateaus, and many things are there, rivers, oceans, many things we watch on our earth. So we are going to talk about landforms. The surface of the earth is made up of land. We already know that the surface of the our earth is made up of land and water. Mostly 71% part is covered with water and 29% part is covered with land. The surface of the earth is not uniform or even at all. If we are talking about the earth surface, then it is not equal, it is not the same at the every part. Some side it's like a conical peaks of mountains, and many sides it's a major landforms like plateaus, rivers, oceans. Many things are available on the earth, so we say that earth is not uniform or even at all. At some places it is high. If we are talking about our land, then at some places we watch that our land is at high, and while at another places it is low. Means many places we are looking like that high places that are known as mountain or mountain ranges, and many places are at the low, like they are known as the simply grassland or grounds. The variation in the earth surface creates various landforms. Means because of the variation in the earth surface makes many type of changes on earth's land, like slightly highland, slightly lowland, and grounds and grasslands and rivers, and many things are there. Because of that, the earth surface creates various landforms. Many landforms are available on our earth. If we are talking about landforms, then some of the major landforms is going to be explained in this chapter. That's are like mountains, plateaus, plains, deserts, and rivers. All that type of landforms are available on our earth, like mountains. Many mountain ranges are also there. Plateaus, Chota Nagpur plateaus, and many type of other plateaus are there. Plains, savanna, grassland, or many type of plains is also available on our earth. Desert like Thar Desert, cold desert is also here. Rivers, many rivers are also here on the earth. The first one is here mountains. If anyone asks you about mountains, then you can say that the land whichever going to be high from another land of the earth, that's known as mountains. Then we can say that in the scientific way, a part of land quite higher than its surroundings. Means a place whichever quite higher, like it is the surface of the land, then it's going to be quite higher, then it's known as the mountains, and they are very high. Means they are very high from the surface of the land. And mountains usually have steep sloping. Means steep is also there, sloping is also there. We can watch that sloping is from upside to downside, and sharp or slightly rounded or conical peaks. Means peak may be sharp or conical, or maybe pointed peaks is be there. Hills are small mountains, and many hills are there. They are small mountains on the earth. They are known as hills. That are not very high. It's smaller in size. Height is also small from another one. A chains of mountains running close to each other is called mountain range. Means if many mountains are there nearby each other, like this mountains is here, this is here, after that nearby a completely range is there, then that is known as mountain range. Many type of mountain ranges are there, like Himalayas. And Himalayas is in our India also, so we can say that Himalaya is a new mountain range, so its sharp or conical peaks are there, and height is also too much. And if we are going to talk about Aravalli mountain range, then that's older mountain range, so its height is also low one, and the shape of the peak is also slightly not too much conical. It's a simple one only. So it is the major difference between the new mountains and older mountains. If anyone asks you about newer mountains, then you can say that Himalayas are the new mountains, so that height is too much high, and peak shape is also conical. And the older mountains are the Aravalli mountains, that height is not too much, and the shape of the peak is also sharp only. Means that's going to be rounded shape only. Like in a Aravalli we can watch that the shape of the peak is like this, and Himalayas we can watch that the shape of the peak is like this one, conical shape. In Aravalli rounded shape, and in Himalayas it will be conical shape. Now we will talk about feature of mountains. Now we will talk about features of mountains. The peaks of the higher mountains remains covered with snow. We can watch that in our atmosphere or in our regions. If any mountain's peak is too much higher, then we watch that it is mostly covered with snow. Second, due to steep slopes and extreme cold, these regions thinly populated because it's too much high and many type of slopes and many type of too much slopey and too much steep area is this one, and mostly it's remain extreme cold throughout the year. So these regions thinly populated means mostly one house is here and one house is upside of that, and it mostly thinly populated area is that one on mountains. Third one, mountains forms natural barriers against cold and hot winds. If we are talking about mountains benefit, then first and most of benefit is here. It was the natural barrier. It is the natural barrier against the cold and hot winds. Like Himalaya is our India's natural barrier. Because of that, it stopped whichever cold winds coming from northern side. Fourth one, the snow-filled mountains are the sources of many rivers. The highly peaked Howling mountains are remain covered with snow. In the summertime, it's going to be melt and maybe it may be sources of the many rivers. And the next one is the mountain slopes are rich in flora and fauna. We can watch that the downside of the mountain slopes, many type of flora means many type of plants and many type of animals we can watch at that side. So we can say that the mountain slopes are rich in flora and fauna. And last one is here, mountains are also rich sources of minerals. We can say that many minerals are coming from mining of the mountains, and we can get many type of many minerals are there. So we can say that here mountains are also rich sources of minerals. All this about the feature of mountains, how the mountains are useful to us, what is the main benefits of that one. So we can once again we are going to revise. The peak of the higher mountains remain covered with snow throughout the year. Due to steep slopes and extreme cold, their regions thinly populated means mostly a few people are lives on that type of places. Mountains forms natural barrier against cold and hot winds, means it stops to coming cold and hot winds. Like Himalaya is the natural barrier for India. The snow-filled mountains are sources of many rivers. Because of snow-filled mountains, many types of rivers are going to be through, and like the Ganga river is also a source of that type of mountains. The mountain slopes are rich in flora and fauna, means downside of the mountain slopes we can watch that many type of flowers, many type of plants is being there, many types of animals species also we can watch at that side.